Hello, this is John McAllister, and I have the John McAllister Sports Report. Today, I'm going to talk with a young man, young college coach, but I knew him when he was a sophomore in high school from Keystone High School up in Lorain County. And CJ was getting a lot of publicity. I went to see him play and came away impressed. CJ Conrad eventually went to Kentucky and played a lot, made recognition in the Southeastern Conference, got an invite with the New York Giants. And honestly, I think an injury really hurt his chances. So he comes back and he's coaching, and he got into University of Kentucky as a GA, I think, or whatever, student assistant. And he worked his way up. And now he's coaching the tight ends at Kent State University. Tremendous young man. He's married, has one in the oven, and he's excited. He's a loyal coach, hardworking, and smart. And I think that talking with him a couple of times, he understands what the college players are going through. He understands that. And that's great. I've been so impressed with him, watching him grow up from a sophomore in high school. And I think he's like 29 or something now. Anyway, if you sit back, and I hope you enjoy my video podcast with CJ Conrad, originally from Keystone High School and now coaching at Kent State University. Good. As I said earlier in the intro, my guest today, and I will tell him and everybody that I'm very well honored to have him. I remember when CJ Conrad was a sophomore in high school, went to a little school in Keystone, up in what county up along Cleveland?
Lorain County.
Lorain County. And I saw you play, and I saw you you were in a scrimmage, and I saw you run a streak, I think, but you were in a scrimmage up there, and I saw your brother. CJ, how are you?
I'm good. I'm in the college coaching world now, so I'm actually enjoying a little bit of time off. Us coaches never really get away. I'm actually in my office right now, but a little break before training camp, up at Kent State, and married, and have a kid on the way, so things are good.
Is your wife a football coach's wife?
She's absolutely fantastic. Like she gets it. She was an athlete herself. She was a gym better athlete than me. She was a gymnast at the University of Kentucky. So really, really good athlete.
That's really good. Times have changed as far as putting time in. I think they do more now, but in the old days, it just seemed like they put in time just to put in time. Now, I don't want people that they were expected to be there. And I think the new generation of coaches are changing that a little bit, I think. Okay. Played at Keystone and then University of Kentucky, recruited by an old friend of mine, Vince Morrow. We talked about Vince a second ago off the air, but he's quite a guy, isn't he?
He's the best relationship builder in college football. He came to my high school. I'll never forget it. Right when Coach Stoops and that staff got hired. And I tell him to this day, like, I thought when he came in that, like, they just won a national championship. Like, he was selling Kentucky like I've never seen before. So he's really, really, like, close to me, like a father figure. Played for him for 4 years. And coached with him for 3. So he's the best. And he taught me a lot, especially in terms of everybody in coaching. Sometimes you feel like you have to be this it's always about ball. Like
Yeah,
he was so good with the relationship piece and caring about people and checking in, and that's what makes him great.
that's really good. Really good. I have to mention your brother. And he just real quickly, he's doing well. Got a good job, you said, or a position, I call it.
Yeah,
But he's doing well. Lives back in Keystone or LaGrange, I
yeah,
guess.
yep, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, married his high school sweetheart.
Okay.
They have a baby that's about 8 months old. Yeah, he had a great career at Ohio U. Like he's still my best friend. We talked all the way through. When I was at Kentucky, he was at Ohio. Um, like we just got off vacation together. Like he's the best. So
That's really good.
him and my dad and I are like, we have a text chain and we're
Oh,
talking
come
about.
on. I didn't want to mention your dad.
Not yet. Yeah.
King of softball,
Yeah.
girls softball, and your mom. I think those guys were Tiffin grads, as I remember, UT grads.
Yes, they are.
Okay, let's talk about you're coaching tight ends now at Kent State. What do you when you go out recruiting, CJ? What do you look for in a tight end?
Yeah, that's a great question. First off, multi-sport athletes. I'm a huge basketball player. I play basketball. I Not that you can't be successful if you don't do that, but it's really important to me. In terms of watching the film, uh, I understand. I actually prefer that my tight ends aren't the guys that are getting in 3-point stances and only playing on offense. And like I want to see the guy that plays safety and plays linebacker and plays DN and he plays tight end. He gets handoffs. Like I want if you are a 6'4", 6'5", 200-pound human being, depending on the school that you're at, you should be dominating high school opponents. And so I want to see a guy obviously who can catch the football, is physical, because that's things like, oh, like how can you see if they can block? Well, can they come down from the post at safety and hit a running back in the backfield? Like that's all I need to see. Like I can teach them the footwork piece of it. Obviously, ball skills. Want to see that. And then the last thing is the stiffness. Like we all have it. I was stiff. You know,
I'm sorry, say that again.
the stiffness piece of it.
Oh,
Stiffness I've learned is really hard to overcome. We all are a little stiff. I was a little stiff.
yeah, you were. Yeah.
But if you are to the point where you're overly stiff, it's something that I've learned that you can't overcome. It's hard to stick on blocks.
Yeah.
It's hard to. You're going to be a catch fall down guy. It's just hard, man. Like it's not something that you can get maybe a little bit, but if you're stiff, you're stiff.
I know you know that, but you're so right.
Yeah.
I myself looked for that. And I tell you one other thing I told a running back once. I said, don't show me 50 or 40 carries, long touchdowns. Show me some, but show me, I said, try to get on the kickoff team and hit somebody. Try to get on the receiver. But kickoff team, I know it sounds silly, but you learn a lot about a player on the kickoff team.
Exactly right.
You do. And I told a quarterback once, I said, anytime you can legally hit somebody, do it. And I looked at you, I said, because that shows you'll contact, you'll hit guys and stuff.
Sure.
I said, you don't have to wrap your arms around him and do all these things. Just hit him. And that shows you're not afraid to hit.
Exactly right. Yeah.
What about hands on a tight end? Do you worry much about that then?
I want to see contested catches. Like if obviously, again, just because we're bigger guys, like at the high school level, you should get some sort of form of a jump ball or a go ball or something like that. So that's where the basketball piece plays in mind with being able to high point a basketball. But yeah, I do look for the hands catchers. Like the hands catchers are important to me. Like if you're everything in the body, yeah, like yes, yeah. I want you like you. If you're struggling to separate like all that stuff, if you can't make a catch with somebody dangling on your back, you're gonna have some issues.
That's interesting. That's, by the way, really good. And then I think sometimes tight ends, they always talk about blocking. Well, you do have to block, but you don't have to drive the guy 10 yards down the field. You just got to make sure you hit him and stay with. I mean, screen him or whatever they have to do. But okay, I got to get away from this because I love talking and scouting and things like that. Okay, tell me about Kent State. Tell me, because you've had a tough time the last couple of years. In fact, my son was there years ago, and it worked in the football program with he went out to Purdue. Tell me about Kent State right now. Sell me on Kent State.
Sure. As a high school kid, you're talking about 3 years our staff's been here, okay? And every year we have out-recruited our on-field play. So we've set school records in recruiting 3 straight years, high school-wise. So our freshmen played last year, okay? A lot of them as true freshmen. And we just signed another great class that just got on campus, okay? So we're going to play young players. Those are the guys that, obviously are the future of this program, okay? In terms of being a transfer, okay? And also I'll say this with the high school piece of it, because I always relate to my playing days. When I committed to Mark Stoops at Kentucky, we were 2-10. And I looked at the recruiting class the year before, and they were the best Kentucky's ever had. And I said, man, how are they having this much success in recruiting? They haven't won any games yet. It means the people were good. It means people are believing in what you're selling. And so I just thought to myself, wait till you start winning. And in the MAC, you can do that. Like, it's not, there's a ton of parity in this league.
Right.
So that's the high school piece of it. You can flip this thing around and you can play right away. The transfer portal piece is okay, everybody wants to go and play. I get it. Everybody has Power 4 dreams. Like we all did. Like I totally understand that. There's nothing more powerful in college football this day than film. Okay? Being able to play.
Yeah.
If you think you're that guy, come here and show it and play and help us win football games.
Yeah.
And come be that guy. And we had opportunity. We had a ton of opportunity. Like in my tight end room, I brought in 2 transfers. About every single position, come in here and you get to show against, because we play 3 big opponents. We play Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Florida State. Yeah. Come in here and show it. And then in the MAC, man, like you're going to have a great opportunity. Like if you put all the MAC teams in a room and took the uniforms off, we all look the same. It's good, And so come in here and compete and show that you're that guy.
Get that quarterback. Get that quarterback.
Exactly.
And everything else you're talking about, it holds true.
Yeah. There's no doubt. We did a good job. We did a good job with that. Got a really good transfer that came in that has years of college experience, and then we got a young guy and that we brought out of Avon High School. I don't know if you remember Nolan Good, but we signed him, state championship winner.
Yeah.
Winners.
Got it in their blood. Leaders and winners.
Yes.
It's like the guy, I played at Kent State, quarterback up in the Canadian Football League now.
Oh, Justin Crum. He's from the same, technically LaGrange is Keystone. Grafton is Midview. I actually live.
That's right.
5 minutes away.
He can play. And he sticks with it. He never got, he's always, nobody believed in him except himself, I don't think, and his mother. I think those 2 guys believed in him. Okay, let's talk that's enough. Let's talk some your philosophy, okay? A little bit, we got about 10 minutes yet. What aspects of coaching really fires you up? What do you really get excited about? Not necessarily, ranting and raving and stuff, but what do you get excited about when you're coming to work?
It's interesting you say that. To me, it's 2 sides of it. So the one piece of it is the player development piece. Like that really, really, I've enjoyed, building a relationship with these kids, and watching them change their body, the way they act, their techniques, watching all of that, and what on the field, off the field. I had a kid last year, Dakota Taylor. He's out of Akron Buchtel. I didn't even recruit the kid, actually. I shows up on campus and he's never been his eyes were wide. And it's really cool to see after 8 months of work with him, actually coming up on a year, just the change. And he, both on the field and off the field, he couldn't do anything right the first 6 months. And now he's a completely different person. So that part of it, like that excites me. Like I love that piece, and I love having my players over my house and being around my family, and like that's important. I love that. And then the second side of it is my dreams always to be like I love offensive football. Like I want to be an offensive coordinator one day. So scheming guys, like I'd be the first to tell you, like I love the X's and O's piece of this. Like I do. I have a mentor in Liam Cohen, who I worked for 2.5 years, who's the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. That like kind of just blew me away with what you can do in scheme.
Right. Well, no, don't forget, you couldn't play defense. You weren't good enough to play defense.
Too stiff. Too stiff.
Now, your brother was a defensive guy.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
You know, it's so true because now you take this one step farther. Is I get excited watching players that I saw as sophomores. What you've got to be what, almost 30 or someplace in there?
I'm 29. Yep.
Okay, guess pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember seeing you at an Elyria football game. You and your brother, you were on the fence on the outside. And it was I don't know if it was a game or a scrimmage, but went over and talked to you, and I thought, holy cow, he's really gotten big and strong. I think he had been your first or second year, but I think it's so important, and I think what you just said, I think you got to show people love. And I think, the days have changed. I mean, those old days of football and grabbing a guy and yelling, I don't get it anymore.
No.
And you see, and I know you think that. You feel like getting to know them, build them up, and all this stuff is important.
It's a huge deal. Like I get the word, like being a player's coach. I just want to be myself. Like I'm not trying to be anything more than myself to these guys. And like I feel like if you show that, obviously you set a standard, but just be you. Like I'm not going to be anybody that I'm not, and it's worked for me so far.
What made you want to become a football coach, CJ?
Ooh, I don't know. I knew I wanted to get into coaching. I didn't know what level. I was a little like at one point I wanted to be an athletic director and a high school football coach, and then I didn't want to be for the longest time I didn't want to be an NFL coach because my experience in the NFL was short lived, but I was like, I don't know how much I like that, and then very businessy. And then college football, like I that's continually changing. So I guess at the end of the day, I don't know exactly. I do know now, but when I was choosing the profession, I didn't know exactly where I wanted to go with it, but I did know I wanted to be around I wanted to be around the development of kids and still get my itch. Like I'm a sport guy. I'm the first to tell you, like I'm going to watch the Cavs basketball games. I'm going to watch, if I can watch the Browns on Sunday, like I would. I just can't. It's a big, very busy day for me, but I just love sport.
You're up there in a big sports supporting area.
Yes.
The whole area around Cleveland. I dated a woman from Painesville on the other side of Cleveland. My goodness, follows baseball. That area up there is crazy for supporting their pro teams.
Yeah.
Okay. One more on that. You're young in this business. What do you find or what do you see makes a successful football coach?
Like I told you, I think first off, it starts with your relationship with your players. Like I think that's massive because like now you got to know ball. Like I get all that. Like I feel like you have to be an effective communicator. You got to be able to understand that these kids are 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, that they're just figuring out college. So I do think you need to have an awareness about yourself, about who you're talking to and when you're talking to them. But there's also, at the end of the day, like you could be the smartest guy in the world and everybody thinks you're the genius on the whiteboard. If your players don't want to run through a wall for you on Saturday, you got no shot.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and then recruiting is the same way. Like you could be like, I've been around coaches who sit in their office till midnight at night and like put up these like charts of recruiting, and it's like, hey man, like how would you call a kid and like get them on the phone and call them on a Tuesday night and ask them how their family's doing, how their workout's doing. And like, I just think it's a relationship industry. And that's always been something that's important to me.
Yeah. And yes. And it's really, okay. Just a couple more questions. Now let's go to the athlete. Now you're still young and still an athlete and just out of college for the most part. What do you see are athletes' biggest challenges right now? Or
Ooh.
football players? Or we can go athletes, but let's go. But football players, you know better.
We live in an instant gratification world, and so they just want success right away, and I want it for them right away. It's just
Right.
there's just so many things that you have to do in order just to show what you can do. So I mean that like an incoming freshman, right? Like all my guys that I recruited, they're so excited to come in and show me why I made the right choice in taking them.
Right.
But if they can't show up to the meeting on time, they don't make their study hall hours, they don't, like whatever. I mean, it just they missed out on their ride from the dorm to the facility, like all these things that you have to do that you don't have your mom and dad to drive you and take you, like just
Yeah.
becoming a college student, it doesn't matter. And then all these new plays, like you can be the best player on the team, the best athlete, best hands, everything. You're going to be a mess. You can't line up. You can't be where you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to be. Like it. So they want to be successful so bad. Like you got to take care of like all this other stuff before we even get to that point. So that's kind of what I would say is like what I've noticed is these guys, they want success right away. And I just very rarely does that work out right away.
Okay. How important do you think is an athlete's public image?
It's really important. I mean, how you perceive yourself. I think it's important that, obviously being a football player, you're naturally a bigger person, and especially Division I player, people have eyes on you. And so I think it's really, really, I mean, you stand out like a sore thumb. So, good, bad, or an ugly, people and whoever you're going to think about it, sometimes people are waiting on your downfall a little bit.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean that's sad.
It's
But
sad.
usually that's coming from that person being jealous of successful people.
Correct.
And so they're gonna look for anything they can to punch a hole in you and stuff like that.
Sure.
Okay. What's the best? You don't have to answer this if you don't want. What's the best compliment you've ever received as a coach?
Ooh.
Is there anything jump out at you? If not, I'll cut this out.
I mean, I would just say, I've had a lot of parents that I've recruited. It more so stands out in recruiting. Just like how much, like my kid, loves how your relationship you've built with them and like how much you care about them and all that. I mean, I love that piece of it. Like I've never gotten the compliment of like, hey, I just love the way you teach your run game. Like, okay.
I just wondered. I threw that. That's one of my questions I came up with.
Sure.
Coach, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know you've been in your family and you guys all went to the Outer Banks, and I went to our Outer Banks. It's along the old river here, but not yours. Okay. And I really appreciate you taking the time. And like I said, you talked earlier, there's nothing more gratifying than seeing guys that you evaluated, you wrote about, and things like that for me. And I can see you're doing the same thing with players and things like that.
Sure. I love, I get like the evaluation piece you talk about. Like I get it, being at Kent, like there's times where we'll offer a kid that's a little bit, maybe like a sophomore, that I saw at a workout that I'm like, man, he's a stud. And then a year later you see he commits to Alabama. It's like, okay, we were right. Like,
my last question. What's the it's on the way. You don't have a baby yet. It's on the way, isn't it?
Yeah, on the way.
Okay. Yep. When's the baby due?
December 12th. I planned that pretty well. Right after our season, like that's about as good as you can get.
Okay, Coach. I appreciate it and thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Okay.